Should women also have to go through mandatory enlistment service?
Do you think men should give birth? Okay, this is honestly going down a very slippery slope.
Oh, actually, you have a very interesting experience to share also, right? I mean, before you joined iFAST, you were actually working full-time in the military. Maybe you share some of your experience while you were there.
Okay, so I was in the Navy. I'm a combat officer for 15 years. I have 3 daughters. During my time inside the Navy, there is this thinking that we have to bring with us. Okay, so back then in the Navy, the population female to male maybe is about one female in every 10 service person. And the population is gradually growing now. So we've got more female relative to guys. My CO, my commanding officer, once told to me that whatever task that was given to me as a female officer, I shouldn't have that mindset that, oh, I'm a lady, I can't do it, it's heavy, so the guy should do it. The ladies working in the service will need to have this mindset that whatever task is given, if the guy can do it, the lady must be able to do it. So that we can work together as a team and get the mission objective done.
Should Singapore consider reducing the duration of national service? You can come with your perspective of a female. Do you think it's too short or is it too long?
Actually, it's not about a female or a male. It's whether these 2 years is sufficient to let SAF attain the objective.
I feel that it's a bit too long. Maybe 1 year would be better than 2 years. Yeah, because I think most of them will complain about how like by the time they graduate from like university, after that it will be like they are so old already and then things like that. They also feel that compared to the females, they are like way older. I have some friends telling me that in their final year of university, they just feel like an old man. Like can't wait to get out of uni already.
I'm going to share a very unpopular opinion. I think most guys will not agree with me lah, but I think it's necessary to have 2 years. Because having served for the NS myself, right, I find that the first year is usually mostly just training, BMT or CISPEC, OCS, everything. First year is training, and then the second year is where you actually go on the job to experience how it really is like. So it's kind of like if you are going to make a sacrifice already, right, then you must make sure that it's worth it, right? We don't want to do something that is half done, kind of like studying. Primary school have to be 6 years, secondary school 4 years and all. So I feel like 2 years is an appropriate timeline for NS lah. Any shorter, then probably we may not be able to achieve what we want to achieve already lah. So I think 2 years is reasonable.
I think my personal opinion is a bit more inclined towards just nice, mainly on the fact that I don't really have a too hard of an opinion on it. I think I've heard stories on both sides from people who thought that 2 years were a little bit too long, like there was a lot of time wasted there. But on the other hand, I also heard of those that 2 years was just nice for them. They got enough experience, they got enough things to talk about.
So you liked your national service?
I hate it. Yeah.
Okay.
But I like what I gain out of it at the end of the day in certain manners. Be it, is it a physical change, be it a mental change. I think those were the things that ultimately, something that I know that I stand to benefit.
So from my perspective is that SCF have to well prepare the soldier so that they can do their job when the time comes for it. From training perspective, there are curriculums. There are certain days that they need to train. And they need to go through theory, need to go through practical, and then they go through assessment. After assessment, they will be posted to unit to learn on the job. And then they need some time to do their role. At the same time, blend into the team, understand the culture. So on this, from my perspective, 2 years is already a bit short, a bit tight.
Should high-performing individuals, so people like athletes, singers, and celebrities, be exempted from serving the military?
This is a peacetime question. All right. If you look at it in the other perspective, right, if there is a threat to the defense of Singapore, do you expect the athlete to take an airplane flight and fly away, or you wish that they will stay back and fight for the country? So if we expect these celebrities or athletes or brilliant individuals to do their part to protect the nation, then it is only fair for them to learn. So therefore, they should not be exempted.
Ultimately, I do think that if the individual can be better performing elsewhere, they have a better responsibility that they can actually utilize elsewhere, then why not, right? Because in the very first place, they can bring much more value. Not that military doesn't have value, but in the first place that they are able to bring more value in another area to the country or what the country recognizes as, necessary.
Well, wow, this is quite touchy. Personal opinion, I think yes, they should be exempted. You think of it from a few point of view. The first one is we think about national service. When we think about national service today, right, we think about defense only. But there are a lot of ways that you can contribute to the nation. So if we are talking about high-performing individuals that can contribute to the nation in big ways, I personally think that these 2 years spent doing what they are best at, right, as compared to just the defense of Singapore, they will be able to contribute to the nation per se in a much bigger way.
Should women also have to go through mandatory enlistment service?
Do you think men should give birth? Okay, this is honestly going down a very slippery slope, especially on the part whereby whether if men should give birth. But come to the end of the day, I think it's identifying what responsibilities we have to provide for the entire society.
No. It's quite similar to what I shared earlier, right? National service, I think there are a lot of ways to serve the nation besides defense. You cannot just think of national service as just defense, right? There are different ways.
I think if given a choice, I don't think anyone wants to go through army. I think for guys also, if they are given a choice, I don't think anyone wants to go through army. I haven't heard of any guy friends that actually come out to me and tell me that, wow, they enjoyed the 2 years and then they enjoyed the army life. Most of them are just telling me that they feel that army was just feels like a legal prison for them to, be confined somewhere.
Okay, so first thing is we have to check what is our understanding of national service. That means you're doing the national service. All right, and I think primary is defense. But defense, most of us have the mind is that the defense is about military, about war, about fighting. We also have social defense. We also have economic defense. I think Singapore population about 50-50. 50% boys, 50% girls. So the guys will spend 2 years doing the military defense. The ladies have their social role, also have their economic role. So currently, I think it's a very good balance where the ladies can join the workforce 2 years earlier and do their part.
What do you think of people using women serving mandatory enlistment as an argument for equality?
This is an interesting question. I feel like, personal opinion again, I feel like we are confusing the idea of equality and fairness. I think what a lot of people want to say is it is not fair that men have to serve but ladies don't have to serve, right? But my view of my perspective of the world, right, is that being equal and being fair are two different things. Right? Being equal and being fair. If you want to be fair, right, you should put someone in the places where they excel the best, right? So how I view things is people should be placed where they would be able to contribute the most to the nation. So it does not mean that everyone has to do the same thing. So equal is not fair and fair is not equal.
Can you rank the armed forces from best to worst? Following your own definition of best to worst. So now we have 4, right? Army, Navy, Air Force, and then the new one, Digital and Intelligence Service.
Welcome to another flaming session. So our best is definitely, or not definitely, best is most likely going to be Singapore Armed Forces. I would call it best is because ultimately...
Singapore Armed Forces is all 4.
What am I saying? It's not Singapore Armed Forces, Singapore Army.
The Army, okay.
The Army, Singapore Army.
Okay, the best is the Army. Why?
It's the largest in size, right? They don't have to... And that's where most people are giving their all.
So the rest, they are not giving their all.
Not say, but that is where the most people are giving their all. If you're looking at pure numbers, even if everyone is giving their all, Army will have most people giving their all. Then I guess second will be Navy. Navy, partially is because the understanding that Singapore is quite heavily dependent on maritime trade. So actually the Navy really does quite a lot in deterring pirates attacks and stuff like that. And if you don't read the news, you will probably see this kind of information as well. So I think Navy really plays a very important part in the daily life of Singaporeans. It's just that most people definitely won't see it in that sense. Next is RSAF. RSAF, because fourth one is the last one because I haven't really understood anything about it, so I have no choice but to put it at the last, right? Cannot be, I understand, yeah, so I just don't understand anything about it, so I preferably put it at the last.
Because I didn't go through army, right? So whatever perspective I have about these 4 different areas is through movies. So like are boys to men, right? So if you're asking me, like, I mean, I'm just separating them like land, sea, air, and digital. I would think that digital is the one that's new and probably the one that's a growing space because like how internet has shaped our life so much right now. So if go by best to worst in terms of importance, maybe I would think digital is actually quite important, and the other one might be air. Yeah.
During my era, right, there was no digital and intelligence service lah. But I would assume the job scope requires like just sitting in front of a computer a lot of times lah. So if I rank from best to worst, I think best to me would be the most enjoyable lah, right? So I would say number 1 would be the digital and intelligence. Because just sit there, his computer can read. Then the Air Force, and then the Navy, and then Army lah. Because I think Army the most xiong. Must go dig the trench and everything.
Following my own definition, I will look at the reason of such service. And there is no best or worst. Every unit, every service exists because there's a need for it. No single war is being fought just by one service. No country is being defended just by one service. So we have on 3. And there is no best or less or worse because all SDF 3 services do their best to maintain and grow their standard. So I would say all 3 services are great. In recent years, you have heard about info operation, cyber.
The Digital and Intelligence Agency, I think.
Yes, because of time that's changed. So the warfare has moved. The war has moved from the battlefield to cyber, to info operation, even to your Facebook, TikTok, social media. So the nation has also evolved to get ready for such defenses. So there is no who is the best and least. But if you're asking about joining each one is easier, I think every unit is trying their best. They're working very hard to maintain the standard. So I don't think there's a best or least. Yeah, it's just that everybody is doing their best. So
Okay, very nice, very heartwarming.
I want to take this opportunity to wish all the SAF personnel a happy SAF Day.